China's influence in the Middle East has been steadily growing for several years. The Middle East, with its abundant natural resources and strategic geopolitical location, presents a significant interest for the Asian giant as it seeks to expand its global footprint. Historically, China has maintained a low-profile foreign policy, but in recent years it has become more active in the region. The reasons for this shift are numerous and intertwined. At the core is China's ambition to secure its energy needs, expand its economic reach, and strengthen its position in the global arena. China is the world's largest importer of oil, and the Middle East holds nearly half of the world's oil reserves. This has led to deepening ties between China and oil-rich countries such as Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Iraq. China has become the top trading partner for many of these nations, often replacing Western countries. China's growing economic involvement in the region is not limited to oil. The Middle East is a critical part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, a colossal project aimed at boosting trade and connectivity across Eurasia. Through the BRI, China has been investing heavily in ports, railways, and other infrastructure in countries across the region. China's approach to the Middle East is distinct from that of Western powers. Instead of intervening in the internal affairs of countries, it follows a policy of non-interference, focusing on economic cooperation. This stance has been welcomed by many Middle Eastern countries, who see China as a less intrusive partner compared to Western nations. This policy has also allowed China to foster relationships with countries across different political divides. For example, China maintains close ties with both Iran and Saudi Arabia, two regional powers with opposing ideologies. Similarly, China has managed to balance relations with both Palestine and Israel. Furthermore, China's stance in the region is largely seen as pragmatic and flexible. While the US and European countries have often placed conditions related to human rights and political reform on their relations with Middle Eastern countries, China has prioritized economic cooperation, allowing it to bypass many of the issues that have strained Western-Middle East relations. However, China's growing influence in the Middle East has raised concerns among some Western nations, particularly the United States. They fear that China's expanding presence could alter the balance of power in a region where Western influence has been predominant for decades. Despite these concerns, it's important to note that China's approach to the Middle East is still fundamentally different from that of the West. While Western nations have significant military presence and have often intervened in the region's conflicts, China has mainly focused on economic engagement and avoided military entanglements. Yet, it's not all smooth sailing for China in the Middle East. The economic model it offers has also raised concerns over debt sustainability and lack of transparency. There have been cases where countries that borrowed heavily from China for infrastructure projects have fallen into a debt trap, unable to repay their loans. Additionally, China's treatment of its Uyghur Muslim minority has been criticized by some in the Middle East. While the governments in the region have largely remained silent on the issue, there have been public protests and calls for action against China. The future of China's role in the Middle East will depend on a variety of factors. As the global geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, so too will China's strategies in the region. What remains certain is that the Middle East presents significant opportunities for China, but navigating its complexities also presents substantial challenges. In conclusion, China's growing influence in the Middle East is a significant development in global politics. While the economic opportunities are vast, the geopolitical risks are considerable. Only time will tell how China's engagement in the Middle East will unfold, and how it will shape the future of the region. Thank you for watching Middle East Info. We hope that this deep dive into China's growing influence in the Middle East has given you a better understanding of the complex dynamics at play. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay informed about the evolving Middle East.